Go for it.
Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome to our first live stream ever, and we're discussing some few hot topics here today. See, I'm sitting in front of a shelf full of video cards here, kind of old generation, but I don't think anyone at this point would be upset about even receiving an older card. I've got a couple of 1060s back here, you can see,
Only $500.
like $5,000. What do we have on this side here? I see a 1080 here. I don't know if you could see that. 1080. That's a 1080, 1070. A couple of 1070 Ti's up there. I wonder if people are still using these cards. They still have any value to performance? There must be.
There's still 1080 still powerful card. You can still get away with 1080p gaming. I wouldn't put it past people. You have buy some of those, but the prices have skyrocketed on eBay.
They definitely have. I actually have a video on that about the 1070 versus the 2080 Ti. Both of them we're going back 3 generations now, but I guess they're still a valuable choice. If you can get your hands on one, you might still need one. So we've got some topics to discuss today. You've got a laundry list of things here. Um, you want to pick the juiciest subject, or
Well, first we don't even have a name for this stream.
who needs a
Like,
name?
we need to give it a name. I was thinking Tech Chat Chat, like our
Tech chat chat,
like our Blizzard social area.
like when we game maybe once a month. we
I say
have
we go with Tech Chat Chat.
we have some of the most high-powered computer equipment out there right now, but we don't game as much as some of our friends with budget builds. They're just scraping by with 1050 Ti's and 6060 Supers and uh, CPUs with no discrete graphics, but they're gaming more than us. So that tells you something right there. We're not in it for the gaming, we're in it for the hardware acquisition. That's all it is.
It's all that matters. As
That's
long as
it.
you have the card.
That's
As long as you have the card.
it. So
So, are we actually live streaming, or is this going to be
I'm not live streaming, I'm just
yeah, okay,
recording. So
okay,
that'll get cut out right there.
yeah.
So I see you had some topics you wanted to discuss.
Well, yeah. Let's get into some of these topics.
Um,
We're a week behind for this one,
I
but
think
we'll catch up. The next few episodes, we'll catch up.
I think we're generations behind, not just weeks.
Yeah.
I see you mentioned something about Redgamingtech. What is this?
Yes. Redgamingtech is a YouTuber, and he gets some pretty spicy info regarding new graphics cards or CPUs. And last week he was talking about the fabled 3080 Ti,
Okay.
the card that will somehow be 5% quicker than the 3080, yet 5% slower than the 3090, and cost for $1,000.
Unbelievable. Okay. And so, what's your take on this? These are leaks with some proof, some evidence. There's science behind this to back this up, or these are just
Well, it's from
rumors?
yeah, no, it's from his insiders. So
Insiders.
he's basically hearing that it's been delayed, most likely end of Q1 and beginning of Q2, and it's due to hardware sort of shortages, basically.
Okay.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, let's sell a 3080 Ti, but we don't even have 3080s on the market to be
Right.
purchased.
Right.
It's going to be on the GA102 die, like everybody, like it's what the rumor is, and it's most likely 20 gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM.
Okay. So we're looking at a RAM speed reduction then.
No, GDDR6X, my mistake.
Oh, okay.
6X.
Okay. So
Yeah,
we're sticking to
6X.
the X. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So the differences will just be a less powerful die and 4 gigs of VRAM less than the 3090
Well, the die is going to be the same.
as the
Same CUDA
3090.
cores, yeah, as a 3090. The difference is going to be the memory bus.
The
It'll
memory
be
bus.
it'll be the 30. It'll be the 3080 memory bus with the 3090 CUDA cores.
Okay. And the
You're
price
looking at,
difference?
I don't know. They're saying 999 USD. So that's MSRP. It's probably not going to be that much. It's probably even more, to be honest.
Okay. So this is sounding very weird. We've never seen anything like this. These are really unprecedented times for technology and what Nvidia is doing to roll out these cards.
Well, I
Um,
think that the problem. Okay, so there's two things I find. The problem is that the 3080 is already on the 102 die, I think that hasn't been done since maybe it's been 4 generations. They put the 3080 model on the same die as the top end card.
Right.
So the 3080 is 80% the performance of a 3090. Then you can overclock the 3080 and get another 5 to 10%. Where does that leave the 3080 Ti? Will you even buy a 3080 Ti if you have a 3080 overclocked? Is 10 gigabytes more VRAM enough to purchase? I'm not sure.
Well,
I'm thinking.
I guess for that, sorry to interrupt you, but you'd have to pay attention to a lot of your gamings when you've maxed out your textures at 4K, you've got everything set to ultra, you've got ray tracing enabled, you have all the bells and whistles turned on. What sort of VRAM allocation are we seeing with the 3080 Ti, 3080?
Any game you've played so far, have you maxed out the VRAM?
Not
On
on my
30.
3080, but on my 3070, I've cut it dangerously close on certain
Well,
games.
it's your 2 gigabytes less.
2 gigabytes, right. So then are we saying 10 gigs is sufficient?
Well, if 11 gigabytes is sufficient for a 2080 Ti, it's true. For a 2080 Ti, I believe 10 gigabytes is enough for 3080.
Right.
I don't. It. I think the GPU. We'll get into GPU issues before we max out the VRAM.
Okay.
Meaning games will kill the performance before the VRAM is an issue on the 3080. To be honest.
Okay. Perfect. So running into other issues before VRAM becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So that's our topic on that. You're currently an owner of a 3080, right?
I do. I have a FTW3. I'm overclocked to the brink of disaster.
Okay.
2100 megahertz core with a 21 gigabyte memory speed. So it's quick.
All right. And you have any regrets not buying a 3090?
Sometimes basically because you don't own the fastest card possible.
Right, which goes back to our why we care more about hardware acquisition than gaming, right? We should be donating our PC parts to people.
Yeah. But again, like, when I play games, do I regret not having a 3090? No, because there's no game that really, even with DLSS, there's no game that actually tanks the 3080. Even Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
I played fine. And my ultra wide or at 4K, I played fine.
Yeah.
I've had no issue besides the awful glitches, but I have no issues in performance with DLSS. So I don't know. Could be maybe a 3080 Ti will surprise us and we'll have a higher clock speed than the 3090 and be quicker. We don't know. We just gotta wait and see at this point.
Oh, that would be really bad for anyone that spent close to $2,000 or over $2,000 in Canadian.
True, and to make it up for those people that bought the 3090 is that they enable the Titan drivers, so they could do the prosumer work.
Okay. Well, there's already people that have purchased Quadro cards for what they need as well. Anyway, they wouldn't. I don't know anyone that. I feel like the people that would buy 3090s would be content creators, people that can take advantage of the 24 gigs of RAM, people that want to install Crysis on the GPU instead of their hard drive, things like things like that. But I think the 3080 Ti is going to be a big blow to the 3090, and there's definitely going to be some backlash once it becomes confirmed or guaranteed that it's coming out. What do you think of that? Put yourself in the shoes of a 3090 owner right now.
So if I had a 3090, if I spent over 2K, which I almost did, I mean, when these first came out, I mean, we'll talk about it later in the video about our experience with these shortages, but I almost got a 3090. I ended up going with a 3080 due to when we bought it, Canon Computers saying the stock was coming sooner than the 3090.
Right.
And it turned out to be true. So
right. But
if I did get it, go ahead.
A lot of people bought the 3090 because they couldn't get the 3080. So
yes.
They essentially bought it because it was priced so high but available. And so that's already like a whole other dirty mess from Nvidia, but they paid so much money to get something they didn't want or need.
True, but they end up getting it. I mean, the performance is there. I mean, I don't think they regret it from a performance perspective. Maybe from their wallet, or some people have the money.
Yeah.
I don't know. But if a 3080 Ti comes out, and if it's 5%, like 3080 is about 10% at 4K, 3080 Ti is about 5%. For $1,000 USD, I mean, will I get pissed if I had a 3090? Maybe. But if I did buy it for work and Nvidia released the proper driver optimizations, I'd be okay. It's basically a cheaper Titan at that point.
Okay.
But right now it's a more expensive 2080 Ti. Mm-hmm. That's how I see the 3090 now. It's not a Titan. It's missing those optimizations.
Right. Okay. So we're basically saying that if a 3080 Ti comes out, then there needs to be something done on the 3090 to keep all those people that paid for something they didn't want or need happy.
Exactly. Else the resale value is going to tank on these cards.
Okay.
It will tank completely, because I guarantee when the 4000 series comes out, and if they don't give any optimizations for the 3090, you'll be able on a secondary market. It's going to be a few bucks more than a 3080.
Okay.
It won't hold its value.
Good point. Yeah.
Where 3080 will probably still be $1,000.
God, that's terrible. That's terrible. Second-hand market pricing, or even scalper market right now, yep. It's insane, and I know people are paying for them because I can see every once in a while when I follow someone's ad, I can see that it disappears after a certain times, and these people are still buying them. Remember, they said they were supposed to have stock by January. January there would be stock. Everything would be. We'd start getting into a better situation in 2021, but it looks like things have gotten even worse as they've released more cards with no availability, right?
Yep.
So
we'll get to that at the end of our topics, because we have a whole section about the history of what we went through for this.
Multiple meltdowns, 2 meltdowns.
Yeah.
So you wanted to next topic of discussion
is the 6700 XT leak, I guess, from Moore's Law is Dead.
Right.
So Moore's Law is Dead, a popular YouTuber that gets a lot of inside information from CPUs and GPUs. People should check him out. Basically leaked a couple of days ago some 6700 XT info. So according to him, it's the Navi22 die is going to have 40 CU units, compute units, and up to 2.5 gigahertz on the clock. 12 gigabytes of VRAM with about 15 gigabytes speed on a 192-bit bus. 96, I think it was 96 megs of Infinity Cache. So those are specs. If those specs are true, that's definitely gonna give a good fight to the 3060 Ti.
Okay. Would you say AMD's launches are as popular as Nvidia's launches, or would you say they're I don't want to use the word boring, but everyone's got their eyes on Nvidia right now. They've been able to release so many different types of cards right now. AMD has only 2 cards out right now.
3 cards.
3 cards. Okay.
Yeah. 6800, 6800 XT, and 6900 XT.
Which you can't get anyway, but
we can't get any of them. I know. it's worse than Nvidia.
So are we essentially, all of these products coming out? I know you said we were going to talk about this again, but we're kind of racing our pink slips, right? We're and if we go to the car world, we're racing dyno sheets against each other, right? Because the product isn't there. No one's racing the car. No one's testing out the video card. No one's able to purchase it and put it into real world use. So sometimes I feel like these discussions are for nothing because they're just items on paper. I'm getting ahead of myself now, so.
But look, again, these on paper, this hardware looks fantastic. This upper mid tier 6700 XT, if it comes in at a good price, maybe if they even undercut the 3060 Ti, it's a slam dunk. I mean, again, we have to look at the ray tracing, which will be poorer than the Ampere cards, but the rasterization should be on par, or if not better. it's looking good. AMD has really come back into the game with the GPUs. I feel they haven't beat Nvidia yet, but they're close. Where on the CPUs they've passed Intel.
Yes.
So hopefully, if there was more stock available, we would have better prices. But due to the shortages everywhere, we're getting screwed with no stock. Or if there is stock, the cards cost astronomically high.
Right. Because you're not buying it from a brick and mortar store. You're buying it from
scalpers.
Scalpers, yeah. Facebook Marketplace or any other local selling, yeah.
But even if you get it from a brick and mortar store, the chances are you're hitting F5 for hours on top of hours on end. You're losing time. It's insane. Yeah. So again, this is more that we're going to talk about at the end of the chat because we'll tell about our experience for these cards.
Right.
But again, so RDNA 2 and AMD looking good. Now they're not as I feel like if you do a full analysis of all the benchmarks have been done by everybody. I mean, they're still a little behind on the Ampere series, but if they undercut them by $50, $60, $100, and they have availability, they'll eat market share. But that's if there's availability.
Yeah.
And Nvidia can't get their act together with their cards.
Right.
So we could skip on to another topic, or do you have anything else regarding this? Like the 3060 Ti, I mean, it's a great card. It's a great card. I know.
It's a great card. It's not too far off from the 3070 as far as performance goes.
Yeah, it's basically a 2080 Super Plus for $100 and $200 less.
Yeah.
$300 less, I think, Canadian. That's if you've got it at MSRP.
Yeah.
It's a great card. I mean, it could actually run 4K medium high settings.
Yeah.
It's more for 1440p high frame rate, but it could do what it can do, especially with DLSS.
Yeah, I think these cards can definitely surprise us. I don't think the 3070 was really designed for 4K gaming either. But if you check out one of my videos on my channel about my basement gaming rig, where I do game on a 4K TV, 120 hertz panel, and it's powered by a 3070. And I have no issues with it. I mean, every game needs a bit of tweaking, but the resolution is there, high settings are there, some settings are on ultra, so yeah, like we said, these cards look great on paper, but when you do have them, they actually work too, so
yeah, no, I know. I mean, it sucks that nobody has these cards, or a small population of PC users have these cards.
Right.
And they probably will be like this until the summer, but it's I don't know if it's gonna get better. We'll talk about it later, but it's not looking good.
Right. So let's not exhaust our meltdown topic that we have saved for the last part.
Hold on.
Do you have anything else you want to add on the 6700 XT?
Nah, let's head on to Heart Attack in a Box Resident Evil.
Okay, RE8 Demo.
Yeah.
Perfect. Tell me about this.
So the RE8 Demo basically released on the PS5, and I've watched again. PS5, I bought one and I don't have it anymore, but I have a new one coming. So we'll talk about it later. But anyway, a Eurogamer basically has a quick write-up on it from the guys from Digital Foundry, so you guys could check it out. We'll leave links in the bottom. Let me share my screen here. All right. So Eurogamer did a quick write-up on it. Basically, they're saying Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 8, 4K native that they've seen so far in the demo, with a bit of RT, HDR as well. So they're saying it looks great. It uses the same engine as Resident Evil 7 and the Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 remake. The only issues that they see is that they don't know if it's reconstruction style. They think it is. But they couldn't really get a good answer for that one. But I saw them play it. It's not a real. It's like a exploratory type of demo. The atmosphere looks great. It's a continuation from Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 was a fantastic game. It just looks good. It just looks good, and it's supposed to come out in May, the full game. And right now, my only decision I need to make is: do I get it for the PS5 or do I get it for my PC? That's basically the decision I need to make.
Right. Well, you have the technology to run it on the PC.
Yes.
So what advantages would you have on running this on the PS5?
On the PS5, it's connected to an OLED, right?
Okay.
That's it. That's it. 4K OLED, CX, LG CX, HDR, 4K 160, 4K 60. It's not going to be 120.
Mm-hmm.
On the console, won't be 120.
Okay.
That's the advantage, right? It's connected directly to the OLED. Where if I play it on my PC, I'm going to have to stream it to my Nvidia Shield, which works fine.
Right.
But I'll probably have more. Again, the PC could generate the more frames, but the Shield can only output 60.
Right. So
I don't know.
They're talking here about the target being 60 frames per second on the game on the PS5, but they don't know the impact of ray tracing. So
Yeah.
Are we talking 60 frames per second, no ray tracing, 30 frames per second with ray tracing on?
Well, the demo they said it has ray tracing, but they don't know because the environments were very narrow inside. They don't know the performance, how it's going to look like when there's outside, because it takes place in a village and there's snowing and there's all these particles effects happening.
Okay.
So they don't know what the performance will be. On the PC, I'm guaranteed that 3080 is going to kill it. But
Right.
PS5, I don't know. So it's I may wait until there is an actual tech analysis before I purchase. But I can't. I love Resident Evil. It's one of my favorite series. I may have to buy it on the PC and Shield game stream it. I don't know.
Right.
It's very hard decision to make.
Well, it would make sense to buy it on the PS5 if this was a Sony exclusive title. But I don't know. I guess are you being greedy like me by owning a 3070 and a 3080 if you want to add a PS5 to your collection of unobtainable hardware?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I don't know. It really depends. I mean, if there is, they use the haptic feedback on the PS5 controller.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't read if they have or not. So we'll see. Closer to the release date, I'll make a decision. Hopefully, there's more information about the game.
Okay. Sounds good. So, anything else you want to add on about this, or should we move on? It seems like everything we talk about is always going to go back to our final topic about the ability to obtain this hardware.
Let's not talk about it now.
Perfect. All right.
So the next topic comes from videocards.com. It's that 2070 with 16 gigabytes of RAM.
Right.
No, a YouTuber called Vic was able to access the Nvidia PCB for a 2080 SKU,
Right.
which outlined how to put 16 gigabyte modules on the card. And basically took a non-super 2070 and tried to do it.
Okay.
He was successful in applying all the Samsung Samsung memory, to the card. And basically it worked, except that it ran slower than the original 2070 with 8 gigabytes.
Okay. But you had the allocation available, I guess.
I think it crashed a couple of times, if I'm not mistaken. But again, I think it needs a firmware update.
Right.
It's just there's other issues, software, that are causing problems here.
Right. Sounds like a good experiment, but I guess they ran some 3D Mark benchmarks on there, and did they see an increase?
They did a firmware test, and then they did a 3D Mark test. So he scored 6176 on Time Spy, which is under the average of a 2070. 2070's put up about over 9,000, a bit over 9,000. So it's quite low.
Wow, that's interesting.
So either it was firmware, software, or the card actually wasn't stable enough. So that's good to know. I mean, one of the big issues. 2070 is a great card.
Yeah.
8 gigabytes of RAM. It's still usable. 8 gigabytes, I find, is still usable.
Right.
So, but it was good to know that somebody could actually do it, and they had capability. The Turin series had capabilities for 16 gigs.
Yeah. That is interesting. So I guess if you want to maintain your warranty, don't do that though. And I don't know if that falls into the right to repair category, just because you felt you didn't have enough RAM on your card, so you had to repair it.
Yeah, that's not getting warranted for sure.
Oh boy. Well, again, haven't seen any even 2000 series RTX cards available. There I go again, going into the availability subject again.
Forget about it. Well, if they are available, if you want a 20,000 series card, get ready to spend more than a 3080
Yeah,
for half these cards.
that's true.
All right,
true.
let's skip on to the mobility. Nvidia mobility. This article comes from videocards.com again. So this is a specific item of the 3000 series mobility. Now, usually for the laptops, Nvidia Mobile, they differentiate between Max Q and Max P. Max Q is efficiency, lower clocks everywhere, lower TDP, and Max P is higher clocks, more TDP, more performance. But now, apparently, I don't know if the story, I guess it's true according to videocards.com from their sources, is you don't know if it's Max Q or Max P anymore.
Okay.
So you could be buying a 2000 plus USD laptop, and it could be a 3080 laptop, and you have no idea if it's the low performance model or the high performance model. It's like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand. They need to do something because this is insane. This is absolutely insane if they do this.
Well,
You're gonna have to wait until Linus does a review or your other favorite YouTubers do a review and tell you, because it makes no sense.
Right. That's interesting, because I guess the laptop market is also a whole different category, because a lot of people, I mean, gaming laptops are gaming laptops, but a lot of people would use these laptops also for content creation, or people that are on the go, working out of maybe hotels. I don't even know if this is relevant, but maybe some places in the world, if they need this power to render videos, or they need to create content outside of their home base, they really need to know where this product is and what it is, what's classified under. If it is something that's taking on the performance aspect, or if it's taking on the cost efficiency or power efficiency. So that's I guess that falls under the lack of transparency from the manufacturer.
Again, it's not a consumer best practice here. I was interested, like I told you before when we were talking on the side.
Yeah.
I was interested in getting one of these to like connect it to my OLED.
Right. Secondary gaming. Yeah.
Secondary gaming now. This Shield and a PS5 all connected to an OLED.
Okay, now you are being greedy.
But after hearing this, it pisses me off. Excuse my language, but it's not a consumer-friendly practice here.
Yeah, no, definitely. You don't know what you're buying, and I take it there would be no way to change that through a firmware update or a rollout from Asus or any of the other companies to change
because
that.
There's hardware stuff behind this that you won't be able to.
Okay.
Now, just the laptops in general are fantastic. Like, seriously, these are good options due to the way there's no stock available for the 3000 series cards. These are good options for people.
Right.
You know what? I won't build a PC because these parts are too expensive, but I could get a 3000 series laptop with a new Ryzen processor, and basically play it as connected to my monitor or connected to my TV in console mode and enjoy it. These are great options. Now, again, the 3080 Max P, well, the former Max P, is going to be almost as quick as a 3070. It's not, the performance isn't equal compared to the desktop.
Yeah.
But it's still a good option. If they're saying 1.3 times performance of a 3060 versus a PS5, I don't know how accurate that is. It could be, could not be. I don't know until we see benchmarks. This is a real good option.
Yeah.
Like, these 3060 laptops are going to be about $1,000.
Wow.
$1,000 USD.
That is a good deal. You have the portability. You do have, exactly as you said, you could be... technically, there's no secondary gaming anymore. I mean, this could be your primary gaming, secondary gaming, and tertiary gaming all in once, right?
Yes. Yep. But, like, no, you're right. This could be your primary system. That's how powerful this thing is.
Yeah.
I mean, you just again put it on a dock, connect it to a monitor,
Yeah.
connect it to a TV. It's got HDMI 2.1, so you got all the G-Sync VRR stuff with low latency and whatever else the 2.1 offers, 40 plus gigabytes per second of bandwidth. But yeah, I mean, all the new TVs that came out last year that people went crazy to buy,
Yeah.
supports. So I don't know. I just think it's a shady practice by not listing what type of GPU this is.
Yeah. Well, I guess you would find out once you bring it home and plug it in, and if you're not satisfied, I guess the store is taking the brunt of that, right?
Yeah, but the average person is not going to really know.
That's true.
The average buyer for this is a parent probably say, "Oh, my kid needs a PC that does gaming and can use it for school. I'm just going to buy this as a new Nvidia graphics card."
Right. Right.
They won't know.
Yeah. And how much would you say would be the impact of having the higher version versus the lower TDP version? How much of a hit are you going to take?
I've seen as you see the clocks. I've seen them. I don't have the article here, but there is it looks like a 15 to 20% reduction in performance.
Yeah.
If you look at how the clocks, the frequency changes,
Yeah.
it looks like there's a decent reduction in performance. That's noticeable.
Yeah.
You'll probably drop a tier.
Wow.
Again, this is all guesstimates at this point until we actually see some testing.
Yeah. That's crazy.
We'll
and so what would this be based on? Would this be based on the usage of more binned processors for the graphics, or is it just the way that the power delivery is designed? Is it the actual die, or is it the power delivery within the laptop system that's creating this issue with the boost clock?
What's the power delivery? I mean, it's the lower tiers of these GPUs are going to be more under the thin and light laptops.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe that's a way you could differentiate what's max Q, max P, but again, I'm not sure. The thin lights will probably have the max Q, while the beefier ones will have the max P. Again, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But again, the biggest thing is cooling and power delivery.
Right. Right.
And of course, the V-bias is going to have the frequency changes.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is definitely a heated subject.
I definitely want one. I know a couple of people want to buy one of these laptops, but this marketing hiding of the type of GPU that they're doing is not it's not consumer friendly.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything else you want to add about the mobile chips?
Well, I guess people listening, wait till the benchmarks before you buy.
Okay.
Wait for reviews before you purchase.
So you
make sure you get the right model number. Yeah.
Specific models and perfect.
Alrighty. The next topic is probably something that a lot of people were expecting: the reintroduction of the touring lineup. More so the 2000s, the 2060 series. Now, this is actually not a bad move, to be honest. If there is extra dies out there, and if the price is fairly reasonable,
mm-hmm.
launching the 2060s back into the market is a good way to get a card for somebody who needs one right now.
Right.
As long as, the pricing has to be much lower than actual what 3060 is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing the 3050 will have similar performance to a 2060, and the 3050 Ti will be similar to or even more than a 2060 Super.
Right.
We don't know. But this is a good option for people who want to build right now, who need a card. I don't think they'll be in demand from a scalper perspective.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good option to people that build a PC right now and then upgrade whenever the stock is back to normal.
Right. Okay. So the pricing for these cards now, are we going to see a difference in the pricing versus when they originally launched versus now coming out in 2021?
I don't know. I'm hearing from different people, different sources online, that they may be even more expensive than what they were And if that's the case, it's a fail from the beginning.
Right, because the cost of these products, the hardware, the materials inside cost different now than they did back in 2019 January when they were launched, right? So it makes sense that something is more expensive now than it was 2 years ago, but that would defeat the whole purpose of someone buying older technology. Like, we're not going to be seeing any increase in performance, are we? Like, there's nothing new that they're putting out on these cards versus the 2060 Super that you could have bought in January 2019, right?
True, but if these are dies that were just like laying there,
Mm-hmm.
they were losing money off of them anyways.
Right. Do you think they were lying there because they didn't make the cut into getting into quality control, or they were just not powerful enough, and so these were the bottom of the barrel chips that they had lying around, and now they're saying let's make use out of them, and
I don't know. They could be 2070 dies that have to be cut to make 2060s.
okay,
I don't know.
Yeah,
We don't have the details.
right. So it would be nice to get our hands on one and crack it open.
Oh.
Just see an X through RTX 2070 guy.
Well, I'd want to see these back on the market at a reasonable price.
Yeah, and so with that being said, with something as far as GPUs coming out now, and already the lack of availability, and all of a sudden these cards coming out and being available to consumers, do you think this would make an impact where people other than gamers may jump on this? Let's say, I don't know, let's use the M word maybe. Let's call them, miners maybe. You think they might come into the picture and say, great, now we can get our hands on large amounts of GPUs and relaunch or restart mining back with the video cards. Do you think that might become a problem or something that might resurface if there's all of a sudden available stock of GPUs coming into mass market?
I don't remember the mining capabilities of Turing, to be honest. I don't remember. I'm not sure if it was the hash rate was high.
Okay.
But if I know there's mining cards being prepared by MSI and a couple other brands that they're going to come out with mining cards without like IO or anything like that, for example.
Okay.
And those will be sold specifically to miners. But again, I don't remember Turing performance in mining. Can't really say. But again, scalpers be scalp. They can scalp these things too.
Right. If they're available, then they're available. So it'll attract anyone: gamers,
Yep.
miners, scalpers. I don't know. Do we have a fourth grouping in there somewhere?
Gamers, miners, scalpers. I don't know what. It's just sad state of affairs.
Just greedy people like us that want one of each, I guess, to add to the collection.
Jeez. Again, buying one, it's not a big deal. Even if you resell it or use it, it's buying in bulk.
Right.
And then sitting on stock until the prices go higher, and then selling it to people who are dying for something. Anyways, topic for the end of the day.
All right. Anything else you want to add on to the relaunch of the 2060 series?
Well, again, if the prices are good, availability exists, it's not a bad way to jump into PC gaming if you need to build a PC now.
Right.
Because I had the 2060, remember, Super, and it was pretty decent.
Yeah.
It handled my ultra wide 1440p monitor, no problem.
Yeah.
All right. Next topic is again from DSO Gaming, Dark Side of Gaming. Other outlets also talked about this. It's about Gabe Newell confirming new games from Valve. This is not a shocker because of Half-Life Alyx last year, but this is actually a positive because Lord Gaben can make good games, and we know that.
Yeah.
Like, we want to see a Half-Life 3 on PC. That's what we want. I have Half-Life Alyx on my Quest 2, and it's incredible. That game is incredible.
Yeah.
But I want to see Half-Life 3.
Yeah.
I want to see Left 4 Dead 3. I want to see Portal 3. I'm not sure why they are scared of 3, but I want to see these games. Like, do you remember Half-Life? I remember Half-Life.
I do remember. I think Half-Life was revolutionary to the PC gaming industry, to PC gamers all over the world. it was a fantastic game. The storyline, it was an immersive title. It was great. I think that's what got me into pushing my parents to buy a PC for me because I played it on other people's rigs and I wanted it and I wanted it for myself. And yeah, it's a great game, and that's true. It's sort of been sidelined now, and seeing the generation continue. I mean, you mentioned you were playing the latest Half-Life on your VR as well, right?
Yeah.
So that's another twist.
But again, Half-Life Alyx is the pinnacle of VR gaming.
Yeah.
Hands down. The freedom you have to play and what you can do in that game, the atmosphere, the graphics, it's insane. I have a couple of VR games that I'm enjoying. I just finally got into VR, and a lot of them are pretty good. I thought there's a lot of shovelware out there on the Oculus Store or Steam's VR store, but there's some real good AAA titles. We could talk about that on another one of these chats that we're going to be having in the future.
Right.
But again, Half-Life Alyx is incredible, and if they could translate whatever they came up with there onto a true PC game, and if it's Half-Life 3, it's going to be incredible as well.
What would you like to see in Half-Life 3? What would really add that secret sauce to the game?
Open world, maybe. Okay. An open world Half-Life game would be pretty good. I know Valve wants to come up with next gen technology, next gen features. So for me, an open world Half-Life game, again, not next gen, but you had the ray tracing, you had the high end graphics, you have the gameplay, the story, the script. Basically, what I would like is a Cyberpunk without the bugs in the Half-Life universe.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
In the Half-Life universe, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Half-Life 2 had not the portal gun. I forgot the name of it, but it had that gun where you can control items and threw it around.
Yes.
Which was revolutionary back then.
Yeah, that's true. I do remember that.
Yeah, the graphics engine back then was fantastic. It pushed gameplay, and then they had the episodic release, which again was good until they stopped. Just stopped at episode 2, and that was it. And you haven't heard anything since. I guess, man. I mean, Steam makes billions of dollars for these guys, so I mean. But you know what I think's happening is now they're seeing competition. Epic Games, and that's why I'm thinking they're going back into publishing video games. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Is that they're seeing competition. They're seeing Epic Games come out with exclusives.
Yeah.
Paid exclusives. They're going to be like, you know what? We need to drive people back to Steam. Let's put out games that you can't get anywhere else.
Right.
Because we own these IPs.
Right. Competition is an amazing thing, isn't it?
Yep. I hope. I think that's a reason. It kind of makes sense. But we'll see.
It does make sense. We've seen Epic Games put out games for free recently. Titles that you would normally pay for all of a sudden become free for short periods of time. I guess maybe that was a fish line to sort of hook people in for the beginning, get them to download the platform and get them to stay on. I mean, Steam has tons of free games already, but that's healthy competition. That's just like Nvidia and AMD, as the AMD is giving Nvidia a run for its money, and competition in this type of industry is absolutely essential, or else we're stuck with relaunching last generation parts and telling people this is what you need and this is all you need.
Oh man, sad state of affairs. All right, so this is good. I find new Valve games are always a positive, and more PC exclusives get people more into PC gaming. As long as they're hardware to buy, this is a good option.
Right.
So next topic, I added a new topic for our discussion today. I was going over it last night. There was Navi31 rumors that came out from Redgamingtech and videocards.com. So basically, next gen RDNA. Now, again, I don't know. These are rumors, but if they're true, my God, is the next Radeon going to be a beast? Now, they're saying there's 80 CU units, and it's going to be a chiplet design, so multi-core.
Okay.
Like how AMD does the multi-chip, multi-die, like how AMD does the Ryzen.
Okay.
the GPU could offer, basically, if that's the case, it could offer up 160 compute units, which is insanity.
Wow.
Which is insanity. So they're saying basically RDNA 3 is also expected to bring a noticeable performance upgrade in ray tracing. Basically, I guess what they call the ray accelerator cores are going to be much more strong than this time compared to the previous model, the 6000 series. And they're going to implement their DLSS competitor soon, and hopefully this speeds up makes their DLSS competitor a viable alternative to Nvidia's DLSS.
Right.
But man, oh man, it's looking like a beast. Look at it. You have up to 2 times 80 compute units. Total cores could be over 10,000. And they're looking at, we don't know the memory. It's probably going to be GDDR6X or maybe GDDR7. They're looking at sometime this year. I don't think this year. It's going to be more like next year.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, early 2022, and it's going to be on a 5 nanometer process. Wow.
Yep, that's what they're saying.
AMD is not holding back on the nanometer race.
No, they're really going forward with this, and it's looking like a beast of a card. But on the other hand, Nvidia's Lovelace. Lovelace is their 4000 series cards that are going to appear soon. Well, soon is, they're saying in a year. I don't know. It's probably going to be next year as well. Now, Lovelace is going to be a monster. Just look at the specs of Lovelace. I can't believe it's going to be 5 nanometer. They think it's 5 nanometer.
Wow.
You're going to have a 12 GPC cluster, 72 TPC processing clusters, 144 multiprocessors, and 18,000 CUDA cores.
That's insane.
18,000 CUDA cores. They're looking at over 66 teraflops of performance. This looks like it's going to be 2 times. I know the numbers don't scale linearly.
Yeah.
But you're looking up to 2 times performance based on this.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible. So uncertain if it's going to be based on Samsung or TSMC, so we don't know that. That's insane. This is getting competitive again. Going back, this is what competition is. This is what competition does.
I know. AMD, Nvidia did not have competition for a couple of generations.
Right.
And the prices. So each generation, the prices went up. Performance difference went down. So with Turing over, it was Pascal, right? So Turing or Maxwell, it was Pascal. So Turing over Pascal. Increase wasn't that great. Price went up. Now, Ampere over Turing, depending on which tier you are, performance went up. Price stayed the same or went down. But depending on what tier you are, so if you take a 3090 and compare it to a TI model, right, you're getting 40% performance, but a 30% or 20% increase in price.
Right.
So is that even worth it? I'm not sure. But then if you compare the 80 model to the previous 80 model, you're getting the same price with almost 50% performance.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Well, also going back to Pascal to Turing, it was different because, yes, rasterization performance may not have been an amazing jump, but a new evolution in gaming was introduced. Ray tracing came in.
Correct.
It's something different, right?
Okay, so again, that was a new feature, but it was first gen RT, right? Not many games had it. The games that did had it didn't implement it properly. I remember Battlefield 5 was a disaster when it first came out with the ray tracing, and the DLSS was awful.
Right.
They slowly got better. Near the end, it got better, and DLSS is still 1.0 on that game. It's kind of looks okay-ish, but not as good as the new DLSS version.
Right.
But on the Ampere, I don't even need DLSS on Ampere on the ultra wide.
Yeah.
Compared to my 2080 Ti, I had to use DLSS for it to be playable on the ultra wide. With Ampere, I don't even need it.
Yeah.
At 4K, I use it, but it's less. The problem with DLSS 1.0, it looked like somebody put the Vaseline on your screen. Depending on the resolution you use it at, but at 4K, it looked decent.
Yeah.
And the Ampere just blows it away.
Yeah.
But with touring, there was problems. I mean, what other games had ray tracing back then?
True.
Like, do you remember besides Battlefield 5? What else?
What about the no? I was thinking Final Fantasy, but that wasn't ray tracing. It was
It
DLSS.
was DLSS. Okay, that was an okay implementation, not that great.
Yeah.
Metro had it, I think. But Metro was global illumination. It's hard to notice that.
Yeah.
What else?
Not too much. World of Warcraft.
That wasn't right away though.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it's only
So-
now. So not a whole lot.
So that's the thing. They came out with all these features, and there was nothing to use it on. And if you could use it, it wasn't that good
Yeah.
in performance.
Yeah, that's true. But to give points to touring, you also held on to it for the longest period of time versus any other generation. You had
Yeah, 'cause
it.
there was no competition. So Nvidia didn't really care about
Right, but
releasing
your
new
money
card.
went longer, right?
True.
Your money that you spent going from your 1080 Ti to the 2080 Ti lasted you for much longer than, let's say, a normal generational jump from, let's say, I don't know, Maxwell to Pascal, for example.
Yeah, you're right. Like but that's not because the card is that good. It's because there was no competition, and Nvidia didn't really need to
Right.
come out with something else.
Right.
But they just did a refresh with the Super, and that was
That's
it.
true. Yeah.
But you're right. From a 780 Ti to a 980 Ti, it was like a year, 16 months max.
Right.
980 Ti to a 1080 Ti, same thing.
Right.
1080 Ti to a 2080 Ti I think it was even less. I think it was 12 months.
Yeah.
But the 2080 Ti, we both had it for over 2 years.
For over 2 years, and that's when you think of it as, no, it's not so great. You're thinking as a prosumer mindset, but as a regular consumer who is not always interested in upgrading every generation, and that card lasted them that long, meaning that all the games for that period of time came out optimized for the Touring Series cards, then that was a win for them. So that's the other way. Sometimes we tend to think like prosumers, or we tend to think like the greedy people that just want to acquire the hardware, but the people that buy it to use it for what it's designed for are the people that'll say, this was a great card because I was able to use it for 2.5 years in the run.
Yeah. Well, look, just look at this article right here. I'm just gonna die of laughter. Here, how old is this? It's past 30 days. 3090 Cyberpunk with DLSS, 30 frames per second. Without DLSS, 6 frames per second.
Oh my god. Oh god.
So look, it's just like the technology is great, and we're getting there. We're getting there for super high frame rates. We're going to be able to save processing power using DLSS.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good technology. I agree. Turing came out with the good technology, and it pushed DLSS pushed ray tracing. It came out to the market. Now the consoles picked up ray tracing.
Mm-hmm.
They already have their own kind of DLSS type of features, their reconstructioning techniques. Again, that's the way forward. Native rendering is too much. It's too much on the GPU. So, and then you add ray tracing on top of it. It's gonna you won't be able to play high resolution, high frame rate, high fidelity games without DLSS. And Turing brought that to the market. I mean, that's a positive. That's a positive.
Yeah.
But when it came out, it's always like that first gen cards that come out with all these new features. It's not when these things are widely adopted, Turing won't be able to use them. Won't be powerful enough to use ray tracing even with DLSS when they're fully adopted.
Right.
Even Ampere, it's probably in two generations from now, maybe Lovelace, after Lovelace, we'll have native 60 frames per second at 4K with ray tracing. Put DLSS on, you're getting 120 at 4K. I see that's like 2 generations from now. But again, Turing kicked it off. I mean, yeah, the pricing wasn't good.
Yeah.
Performance was okay. The performance jump was okay. I mean, and it was there. It did start it. You have to give it credit that it did start the new way of feature sets going forward.
That's it.
All right. You want to just go into our history of the last few months of trying to get GPUs?
I think that would be good. Yeah, maybe we can switch back to the video. So facial reactions are worth 1,000 words. Hang on a
So
sec.
you,
Hang on a second.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So our final topic of discussion is I don't know how we can title this, but I guess it's our emotional and financial journey through acquiring the Ampere series GPUs. I'll start off, I guess, by saying that our PC upgrades really only needed the GPU upgrade. We were fine for the rest of our hardware. I think we're both running 9900Ks overclocked to 5 gigahertz. Um, lots of we have lots of memory, high-end motherboard, good cases, great water cooling. Everything there is perfect. There was no reason to change anything with CPU, RAM, or anything. So it was really just our um, annual generational upgrades to the next video cards that come out, and we had both decided to pick up the RTX 3080. I think we reached a mutual decision that the 3090 was a skip for us. Um,
No. I wanted the 3090
you wanted it, but you had convinced yourself that it was not.
because of availability. That was the reason. I thought I knew was the performance wasn't there to justify the double increase in price, but I wanted it.
Yeah.
And when I went to Canada Computers that day, I bought the 3080 based on them telling me that these will come in first.
Okay.
And I needed a secondary card.
Okay.
The 1650 was on its way, in quotations. And I didn't want to wait. I wanted the new card. I wanted the new card right away.
Okay.
So
if you were told the 3090 would have arrived quicker than a 3080, you would have jumped on that purchase?
correct.
Oof.
But I would probably be again, like we talked about before. Would I be regretting it? I'm not sure. Maybe my wallet would hurt, but the performance, still good performance.
Right.
But 3080, you get almost the same performance, and your wallet hurts less.
Right. A lot less.
So I don't. If I got a chance to do it again, I don't know, to be honest. But continue your story. Your story is pretty funny. Continue.
So let's say at that point I had already made my decision to buy the RTX 3080. The 3090 was. It's not to say that I can't afford it. It's just that, like you said, price to the dollar ratio, it's not there. It for me was the Titan card, and so there's really no need for me to get a Titan. I've never owned one. I don't think you've ever owned one.
No.
So no point for that. We had both agreed to go for the EVGA model. I think I had wanted to purchase the XC3, which is the smallest card RTX 3080 that you can buy other than the Founders Editions, and of course in Canada, Founders Edition is pretty much unavailable.
Isn't the black thinner? Because it doesn't have the backplate, right?
No. Yes, it's missing a backplate, but my issue was not about the thickness or the depth. It was the length of the card.
Oh, it was the length.
And
Yeah, you're right.
if you check out one of my videos about the RTX 3080 fitting inside the Meshify C with an AIO cooler, you'll understand very clearly why the decision was made to go for this card.
It's good. The black plate. The black plate. Sorry again. Actually helps with the DDR6 memory because it heats up. So it was a good decision getting the XC3 Ultra that you got.
Yeah, definitely, and it's confusing because there are three models. There's the black, there's the gaming, and then there's the Ultra. The Ultra and the gaming all have a backplate, but slightly higher clocks on the Ultra. I enjoy the card. It also only has two 8-pin power connectors, whereas yours has 3. Anyway, you had opted to get the most powerful card humanly possible to get as a 30.
At the time I got the FTW3 Ultra.
That's it.
I'm like, I needed to get, you know what, if I'm not getting the 3090, I need to get max performance on the 3080.
That's it. And
that's why I got it.
All the reviews pointed out that the FT3W was the fastest card. Maybe not the most popular one, but definitely the fastest. Of course, your case had no fitment issues, so you really weren't limited to having to get the EVGA FTW3. You could have bought any other card if you wanted to. You have plenty of room in your case. Yeah. had no choice but to get the XC3 because of the sizing. And since the FE edition was unavailable, then that's it, forget it. So we both put in our orders around the same time. I put in, you put in your order through Canada Computers. You walked into a brick and mortar
Yep.
store. You put your money down, and you said, "Call me when it arrives," and you walked out. Simple,
Yep.
done. Everyone can do that. I went ahead online 2 days later and placed in an order with a company. Let's call them Memory E. Wait, no, that's too obvious. Let's call them M Express. Okay. And of course, full money down, full product paid for, and slowly things were starting to surface about stock and not being available, not being able to meet the demand. Certain models were coming in before other models. Of course, the XC3 wasn't necessarily one of the most popular uh, versions, even though I'm sure a lot of people were in my situation where fitment is an issue. You're not going to tear down your whole build just for a GPU. Um, so I started seeing all the notifications come up on the site how during these unprecedented, unparalleled, unknown, uncertain times, GPUs are not coming in and we have no ETA, we have no idea, we're not being told any information. Phone calls started getting made. What's happening with my order? Can I get my money back? What's your policy? What's the ordeal? What's the wait? How about this card? How about that card? No one could give me um, any clarity. No one could be transparent because they were allegedly out of the loop themselves. And of course, the blame goes to the supplier. And I'm sure the supplier blames the manufacturer, and the manufacturer blames the people because the demand is there, the high demand. So we just go through this big vicious circle. And of course, I had to be patient, but speaking to you and um, finding out on a nice sunny Saturday where you texted me saying that your card came in only about less than 2 weeks from your order time.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
about no, it was 14 days
14
exactly.
days.
14 days.
So you got the call. You picked up your ID, your credit
Yep.
card, and you moseyed on down to your.
Moseyed on down, walked right in, pointed at the guy, said, "Look, I'm here for my 3080." He's like, "Dude, no way." I'm like, "Yes way." I walked right into line. They had a whole stack of them, whole stack of FTW3s, and a bunch of other cards, some Aces Toughs. And yeah, it came in. They told me when I ordered it that the shipment was coming, and they didn't lie, so they were correct.
Okay.
And it was great.
So you got your card. You came home. You had also lucked out on your secondary temporary mule card as well. So it's
Yes.
not like you were suffering or anything there,
No,
right?
no, I was not.
Um,
I had no
you were
issues.
in a great place. You were
Yep.
in a wonderful place. So going back to me, after discussing that with you and how you talked about the performance, and how amazing it is on your 4K TV, and how amazing it is on your ultra wide, and how amazing it is in general, um, I made a decision to try and put in an order with the same company that you placed your order with. So I contacted M Express, oh no, I mean Memory E, and told them that I'd like to cancel my order. So without any issues, without any discussions or talking to second levels or managers, they said you can have your money back in full. They were almost happy to get rid of me in a sense because I would just be one less belly aching customer calling them on a weekly basis about my order or sending them an email. You know, that's fine. That's business. So I got my full refund back, and I went to another location. I went to the same store that you went to, different store, same company, and I placed a $300 deposit down on the very same card and got the whole same spiel about we don't know when it's coming in, and we'll let you know when it's coming in. So this was all in September. So September or October went by, November went by, and I think I experienced two meltdowns where um, I was messaging you and Facebook messaging you and telling you I'm tired of this. I'm going to cancel my order. I don't want a PC game anymore. PC gaming has left a bad taste in my mouth. I should just buy a console, but of course consoles are not available. Uh, I was gaming this entire time on a 750 Ti, if you recall.
Yep.
Um, it was terrible. A 9900K with 32 gigs of RAM paired with a 750 Ti. Um, I was limited to what games we could play. I was playing Destiny 2 on non-ultra wide settings, so I had to squash my aspect ratio from 21 by 9 to 16 by 9, reduce my graphics to basically low. I was just staring at a bunch of pixels. We played a lot of Warzone. Warzone ran a bit better, but again, everything on low settings, low resolution, using the render scale to go all the way down. Usually we go up, but this time around we were going down. And of course, I had literally 2 meltdowns where I was messaging you and just crying and saying, I can't take this anymore. I've never been in this situation. What do I do? Guide me, help me. What do I do? And you held it together, and you said, well, you held it together because you were in a great place. So you told me to just bear with it and it'll come. Just relax. Just be quiet. Just game on your 750 Ti. Just make some videos for your YouTube, which I couldn't do anyway with a 750 Ti. So I mean, that was the the first meltdown, and then the second meltdown again was after you calmed me down. I contacted the company again, and I asked them for any updates, and they said they might not get anything until 2021, and that was it. That was like, for me, it was like I can't be without a video card. I need to buy something which sort of opted me to make the secondary PC and get a touring card and build something for my basement and game on it while I waited for this other video card to come in. And of course, after the second meltdown, you calmed me down again. You got me back on track. You said focus on your secondary PC, put it together. And around the same time, I got the call, your 3080 is in, and that was a very, very happy moment for me to go pick up my card. And of course, it was nothing exciting to discuss with you because you already owned your card for a month and a half. So it's not like any breaking news or information was going to come out. We knew that this card was a bit slower than the FTW3, but all in all, a great card. And I'm not selling any of my cards. That's for sure.
But didn't you get the 3070 in the meantime? But you never installed it.
That's true. I refused.
I refused
to put my 3070 in the computer that was designed for my 3080. It was not happening. I'm very.
You had a card to play a game with. That's what didn't make sense.
It was not going to happen. That was not the card I wanted. That's what it is. It's the greed. That was not the card I wanted. I got it through legitimate means. I bought it from Newegg, no problems. Just got lucky, F5ing, got it, but it was not going in my main rig. It's not happening. I was not going to resort to that. If I had put that card in, I would have canceled my 3080. That's what would have happened.
Jeez.
So,
but it would have been a lateral move for your 2080 Ti. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Less memory, same performance. I don't think the memory would have been an issue with ultra wide settings, 3440 by 1440. No. But
yeah.
For me, it's a step down. That would have been a step down.
Jeez.
Yeah. So this whole launch definitely taught us something. One practice we've always done every year was that at the moment of announcement, we started selling our old cards right away. Get them out of the computers, secondary card goes in, secondhand market, sell the card right away before value goes down. I think we learned that we'll never do that again. We'll only sell our cards once we have our new cards in hand, regardless of what happens to market value or reduction.
I'd rather lose the 10% than go through all this whole thing again.
Big shout out to all those people that offered us $400 for our 2080
Yes.
Ti. How about $4,000 now?
Like, oh my God, the offers for the 2080 Ti were insane. Yeah. Absolutely insane.
I wish I could post some of the conversations I had with those people. Everyone had the same excuse: the 3070 is faster. 3070 is faster. 3070 is faster. I'll give you $450 for your 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. But again, so like we had issues with the GPUs. We have console problems. What else was there? CPU issues on the AMD side. Yeah. I mean, it was just a awful Q4 in terms of technology.
Yep.
Last year, it's like I've never seen something like that in my life.
Yeah.
Ever. I mean, the pandemic could have caused it. Well, it did cause it. Manufacturing was down, demand was high, people were at home. It was just a perfect storm of a disaster.
It was.
I don't know. It's like the mining craze again. So
Yes, exactly. Yeah, people are still mining. I mean, to go off topic, if you look at the mining difficulty rate of certain coins, they're the same as they were back in 2018. There's not much change. So I don't think the mining aspect really changed. That's one way to know if miners are still buying these video cards. They are. They're still doing it. They're being purchased, like it or not. So there just wasn't any more talk about it like there was 3 years ago about not being able to get a GPU because of mining. So,
well, it's okay. So mining is, again, I think mining is another, again, it's a hot topic now. People are doing it again. So you add it with all the other issues going on right now. I don't think you're going to see proper flow of inventory until summer. So I don't. That's why the 3080 Ti we discussed at the beginning of this video. We won't see it until Q2, not Q2. Sorry, the second half. It might just be a refresh in September, the way it's going.
Right.
So if Nvidia comes out with super cards, it'll just be Ti versions. So you have a 3070 Ti, 3080 Ti. That's the refresh.
Right.
I don't see anything else happening because they can't release other cards. Just paper launch everything.
Yeah.
You're hurting your fans / consumers, your buyers. Like, they want it, they can't get it, but you're releasing new cards. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. You're right.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Do you see yourself at your step up program has expired, obviously, from EVGA?
No, it's queued still. Since you register it, you're still in the queue.
Okay.
So I could get a 3090 for about 700 more. 708 or sorry, a 3090 for about $900 Canadian.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to do it, to be honest.
Not this late into its shelf life, right?
No, not this late. It's too late now. If it was December and I was still teetering, maybe. But now the 3080's performance is fantastic, especially overclocked.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying, "Oh, the Ampere can't overclock well," but I can get 2100 Core Plus, and it's my card over a stock FE is about 5% faster, and I could get another 5 to 9% with my overclock, depending on game. Yeah. It's perfect. So I closed the gap with a 3090. No, spending $900 for an extra 5%, I don't. That's not worth it. But even if I spend under $400 and get a 3080 Ti for an extra 5%, I don't know. I may just wait till Lovelace. If Lovelace is that incredible, the 3080 is gonna be fine for the whole year and next as well.
Oh, definitely. And you'll get your money's worth when you put it back on the used market to resell. After you get your hands on the 4000 series.
Yeah.
Not before.
So, but that's it, right? So the upgrade path we're looking at right now, I mean, there's Alder Lake coming from the CPU perspective. I mean, is it going to be much better than 900K at higher resolutions? I don't think it will be. But, I mean, this is what, year 3 on Comet Lake we're using?
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe it's not time to upgrade. Maybe it is. It depends. I want to see how fast Alder Lake is. Yeah. It's the first time this technology, big little design, is on x86, I think. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see how it is. The positives going to Alder Lake are DDR5, PCI Express 4 and 5 available. So maybe that would be good. And you're going to have resizable bar out of the box.
Right.
We should get resizable bar well, MSI is releasing it on the Z390. I don't remember what the motherboard you have.
It's a Gigabyte.
So you got to check if Gigabyte's releasing on the Z390. But MSI said they're going to release resizable bar on the Z390.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's depending on game. It's either no performance, small performance, or big performance gain using resizable bar.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So Alder Lake is going to be something we have to look at. We'll see. Maybe from a productivity perspective, would be more valuable. Like, we do a lot of rendering of the videos, right? So if we're going to go more hard on YouTube this year, we may need a faster multi-core CPU. But then there's
Faster and
Ryzen.
more cores. I'm definitely thinking that. Yeah.
But then there's Ryzen.
Yeah, that's it.
if
Yeah. Yeah.
if Ryzen is already faster than Intel right now, even Rocket Lake, I don't think Rocket Lake is gonna change things.
No, not at all. No, the reviews were not. No.
The leaks are not impressive for Rocket League. And maybe what 2% faster at 1080p in games? Who cares?
Yeah.
What for the same price? Because we don't even play the 1080p with these cards, with these 3080 cards. Like for me, I'm playing a 4K or ultra wide.
That's it. Yeah.
Where the gains between CPUs they're minuscule.
Yeah.
But the Ryzen is more efficient, better chipset, and more cores for the same price.
Yeah.
So it will help with the productivity side of things.
Definitely. And with that being said, and my 2 meltdowns discussed openly, as a grown man.
Jeez.
It's a general discussion segment. So is there anything else you wanted to add on our first stream, on our first podcast?
No, just we're going to start doing more of these, most likely once a week, maybe twice a week, depending on time, but for sure once a week. We'll talk about what happened in the previous 7 days of tech news, video games, hardware, so it's good. I think we did an okay first podcast, or tech chat. We still have to come up with a proper name.
I think, we do, and don't forget there'll be timestamps listed down below, so if there's a particular subject that you were interested in, like let's say you wanted to just hear about my meltdown, then you can go right to the meltdown and listen to that. We'll do this as frequently as possible. I think once a week would be a good start. We could do more consolidated. We could put a timer on and just discuss 5 minutes per topic, and then leave an open segment at the end as a general discussion, and we'll see how it goes. If you guys have any comments, if you want to leave any feedback, go ahead. Comments are enabled. Let us know what you think, and we'll put it together for our next discussion. So anything else you wanted to add?
That's it. We'll see you guys next week.
So we'll conclude our video here, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out any of the other videos that we discussed in the video today. Meshify C3080, my 3070 build, and the Node 202. Check them out. Leave your comments and any information that you want to find out about. Discuss through the comments. So we'll see you guys in the next one.
Take care.